So I hate to recreate conversation because that seems so fake to people, but do you go outside at all, Dan?
No, I'm wasting away.
But a lot, see, at least you admit to it. There's people like, no, I go for walks, and you look at them like, no, you're not. You're not walking anywhere. You're a monster. Like, there are people that have changed their entire body shape during COVID, and like, they didn't get COVID. Like, they're not sick. They're just fat now. And they're like, because they're afraid. It's like, no, you're supposed to look worse if you get sick. But if you're not sick, why are you gross?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't think I've really gained weight. I was exercising for a while, but yeah, I'm just I didn't continue it, so now I'm slowly becoming more gross.
Nice. What's your exercise regimen? What were you doing?
Just dumbbells, nothing fancy.
Okay, stupid. No, I'm sorry. It's like,
I
I like
keep
that became an insult. Dumbbell.
Yeah. Why though? Because that's all you think about is pumping iron?
I think, yeah, it was one of the dumbbell. It's like, a long time ago, being strong was for the stupid.
Huh.
You know what I mean? Like, you're an athlete, you're dumb. If you're strong, you're dumb. You dumbbell. All you care about is the gym and beating me up.
Yeah, why is it called a dumbbell though? Like, is it just because, like, they named the instrument after the dum-dum, the stereotype?
You know what? I don't know. It's not a bell.
Like it's like, why isn't the I don't know, the treadmill like the moron later?
The moron sidewalk. Why isn't it that? Like, you're right. The dumbbell is a name that's it's neither dumb nor a bell. Why is it called? It's probably because some guy like, Sir Isaac Dumbbell or Dumball invented it. And they're like, someone said it wrong. I don't say Dumball. I say dumbbell. You're a dumbbell.
The exercise bike isn't going nowhere. Look at that idiot. Like, thinks he's touring the world. He's in the same place.
I like the guy who was like, imagine if you were on a bike, but you went nowhere. Like, what? Yeah. I'm listening. I love riding my bike. Don't get me wrong. But I hate that I have to do it outside riding a bike. I want to pump my legs while I watch Sports Center. Can you help me? It's like, sure. Here's a bike that doesn't move. But now they have those Peloton bikes where it moves like you're on a bike, and you can watch a video like you're outside. It's like, go to fuck outside.
Yeah. What is it? What do you mean it moves like you're when you're going up hills? It
goes up. Yeah, you can do it. If you look at the videos, you're flying side to side. You're going up and down. It shakes. It does all kind. It's like you're on a bike, and then there's videos around you. And I think they even have like the VR goggles you could wear where you think you're fucking outside, but you're not. It's like, just go outside. Like, it's so much more expensive than getting a bike.
That's the coolest uncool bike that I've ever heard of.
It's but it is exercise, I guess.
Yeah. I used to have like a bike that had the little pegs on it where you could supposedly do tricks on it, but I just rode around on it like a regular bike. I don't even think I let anybody ride on the pegs. Like, I don't know. I
did once, and then that guy tried to like make us do a wheelie and try to kill us, and I'm like, no more of that. I was living in Massachusetts, and there was this one kid named Carlos. Don't ever trust a Carlos. I know that's racist, but whatever. Anyway, Carl's fine, but once they get loose, stay away. But he would stand on the peg part. It was a friend's bike all the time, and his friend's like, be careful. He tries to make you do wheelies. And I'm like, what does that mean, make me do wheelies? And he really wasn't making you do. He was trying to flip us the fuck over. Like, why? We're both gonna get hurt. We got hurt. We both fell and got hurt. And he's like laughing. I'm like, why are you laughing? We're hurt. Like, we were injured on my bike. And my bike was hurt. It was like, I had the peg. I took the pegs off after that.
Yeah. I haven't really been doing much exercise. I keep feeling like I want to take a walk, but my neighborhood, like, there's nothing really to walk to. There's like a liquor store around the corner, but I feel like that defeats the purpose of.
Oh, no, that actually helps. If you're going to get a crippling addiction, walk to it. That's what I tell people. If you're going to get heroin, walk to the heroin. Don't drive your car like a bum, because when you're walking, you'll appreciate the heroin more. If you're going to walk to the booze, that's good. At least you're walking off a little bit of the booze.
Put on some ankle weights and go to this heroin depot.
Yeah, how come they ankle weights and they're not stupid legs or whatever? Like, what was their name? Hey, stupid legs.
Got my dumbbells, my stupid legs.
Got it all. My scissor neck, whatever the hell. It's yeah. Like I think I'll go for a walk. I run all the time, but even when I go for a walk, if I want to go eat something dumb, like I'll say like, you know what? I feel like having 2 donuts today and a coffee. I've run a lot. I want it. I'll walk to go get that. I won't like take the bus, but I'll walk to get the donuts because in my head, I'm like, I'm walking off the donut. I'm enjoying the taste of the donut, but I'm also not just sitting in donut girth.
Yeah.
But booze is different because you don't want to just walk back chugging booze and then you're drunk walking. Like, drunk walking is not a good time.
I guess not. I mean, I'm trying to think about. I feel like the drunkest walk I've been on was when I was in Las Vegas, and I was at the slot machines, and then I realized that like they'd bring you free drinks,
Yeah.
And so I was just like pounding back some cold ones left and right as I was pumping quarters, and a U.S. Marshal came by and checked my ID. But by the time I was done gambling, I was just like wasted, and I was like just marching down the street in Las Vegas, and I was whistling the war theme for the Klingons from Star Trek 2 as loud as I possibly could, and I was just like marching down the street, and then like I didn't realize how enthusiastically I was swinging my arms, and like my knuckle just hit this brick wall, and like the top of my knuckle came off, and like blood was dripping down my arm, and I was like, oh, my arm is bleeding, but I was just like so wasted from drinking all these drinks. And then so I got back to this hotel, and I got in the elevator, and like these ladies were looking at me and like they said like your hand's bleeding, and then I was like, yeah, I know, and they just started laughing at me.
They weren't helpful at all. They were all like, are you nurses? No, we're wenches. Like, oh, I confused you terrible wenches. Laugh at your blood. That's not nice.
Yeah.
Drunkest walk I ever did. We were going to Cancun. I was in college, and I was bartending that night. We were going with me and 3 buddies and then 4 girls that we knew. And one of the girls was able to get a limo, and the limo was going to pick us up. I had to have all my stuff with me, drive us from New Haven to LaGuardia. We were flying from LaGuardia. So I drank because I knew we were going to drink there. Obviously a little bit, but not on the flight. I'm like, I'll just get hammered and like sleep during. I'm not really a plane guy, but I can play 5 planes. So I started drinking while I was bartending. So I was just getting drunk the whole time while bartending. We get in the limo and we see a full stock limo, and we don't think about how like it's probably not for us because we paid very cheap for this limo. We didn't think there was any booze in it, and we drank all that booze. We did find out later that was for the next person who was going to use that limo, and we got charged extra for that. But it got us to LaGuardia. We were all hammered. And LaGuardia is big. I've only been there like once, I think, but it's a big airport. Maybe some people are probably like, no, Pat, I've been to bigger. Like, fuck you. I don't fly. It's bigger than things I know. And we were sitting on one side, and some guy was walking by, and he was drunk, and he was wearing a sombrero because everybody was going to Cancun from all over the place. And this guy, I go, where are you going, hombre? I thought it was fun to call people hombre. And he goes, we have all the tequila you could ever want on the other side of the airport. And I'm like, well, I'm going with you. He's like, okay. So I started walking with him, and he had some in his pocket. So we're taking shot, me and a stranger, just chugging out of this bottle of tequila and walking. And literally, like, 2 minutes into the walk, my legs feel like I'm on the moon. Like I can't, because I was drinking all day. I hadn't slept, and now I'm trying to walk for more booze. I'm exhausted. I'm drunk. And by the time we got there, I literally turned and missed the door. Like it was like all glass, whatever, but like it was open. And I walked right into the metal partition of the glass part of the door. Didn't break it, but just nailed my face. And he goes, hey, senor, it's the other way. So thank you, senor. And then I drank more tequila. And then we ended up almost getting thrown off the plane while it was in the air.
For what?
For being too drunk. We were so drunk, me and my friend, my buddy Stu, we were sitting there, and everybody was starting to fall asleep. People were drinking, and we were so drunk. And in front of us was this old woman, really old, with gray hair and curly hair. And I couldn't see her face, just her gray hair. And I turned to my friend, and I went, is that Barbara Bush? And he goes, oh, Barbara Bush. And we're both just drunk, and we were going, Barbara Bush. Barbara Bush, and we just kept yelling Barbara Bush, and we both stood up and like yelling at the top of her head, Barbara Bush, Barbara Bush. And she finally turns, and it wasn't Barbara Bush. She wouldn't fly commercial.
Air Force One or something.
Yeah, not on a flight to Cancun with us. And she's like, "Who are you yelling to?" We're like, "You, Barbara Bush, and we're just screaming Barbara Bush. And then a steward walks over and says, the captain has suggested that the two of you take a nap and sleep the rest of the time. And we said, Barbara Bush. It was funny to yell at him. And he goes, the captain has said that if you do not comply, you will leave the flight. My friend goes, we're like way in the air, like 50,000 feet or whatever. And he goes, the captain has decided that he doesn't care.
Here are parachutes.
Yeah, did no mention of parachutes, just he doesn't care. And we're like, okay. We go, okay, good night, Barbara Bush. And then we yelled it overtime, and then we went to sleep and woke up in Cancun. So, and then I got to Cancun. We got to our hotel, and the first thing I did, we were on the 4th floor. The first thing I did was I was athletic, and I was drunk. So I was like, I bet you I can jump off the balcony, spin in the air, and catch it like this, and then hang. I don't know why I thought I could do that, but I did it. We literally just got there. I ran in. I ran through the room, jumped off the balcony, spun around, caught on, hanging like this, and then looked down and realized I was 4 stories in the air. And I could have died the second we got there. My friends go, what the fuck? They pull me back in. They close the thing. Like, all right, easy, Tiger. And then the second we get back in, the phone rings. They were like, hello? They go, this is the front desk. You will not do that again or you will leave. Like, okay. So, yeah, drunk walks aren't good.
Yeah.
But I was exercising. See?
I feel like the creepiest thing that happened to me at an airport was when I was flying to Oregon to see my brother, and we had me and my friend Brian got to this airport, and I guess we missed our plane because our first plane was late, and so it was like really late at night, and we had to like wait for a plane that was going to come early in that morning, so we kind of had to stay in the airport and I guess sleep there. But I was like sitting in the chair, and my friend was a couple seats down, and then I was falling asleep, and I just kind of like my eyes opened up a little bit, and I looked down, and I see these 2 guys that are kind of way down across the way and to my left, and they were looking at us, and like when I used to be a substitute teacher, and there's like this look that boys give you when they're looking to see if you're paying attention, where they kind of stare at you, like with the cat eyes, like a cat looking at a mouse.
Trying to see the second you're not paying attention so they can do some sneaky shit.
Yeah, and so I looked over and I see these guys looking at us like that, and so I just kind of like I let my eyes just kind of close again, like I was sleeping, and then every once in a while I had opened them back up again, and the guys had moved from way down there to right across from us, and I closed my eyes again, and they were still like looking at us with the cat eyes, and then I closed my eyes again, and the next time I opened up, they were walking around to sit like right behind us, and then so I closed my eyes again, and then once they sat down, like right immediately behind me, and I noticed they were there, I just stood immediately up and I just started talking to my friend. And I was like, just started up a conversation, and I was like putting on my backpack, and luckily he was like observant enough to know that I was standing up. I was getting my stuff. And he stood up and he started getting his stuff again. And then we walked all the way back down to where those guys originally started from, because like it just seemed obvious that they were trying to pick our pockets.
Or they were going to sex traffic you.
Maybe. I mean,
you were going to go to Sex Island.
I am hot. Like,
yeah. Listen, you're a white man with long hair. You suit both things.
Yeah.
Ladies like white men with long hair. Men who like women but can't afford them, like men with long hair. You're a discount lover. You know what I mean? They just gonna dare. Now, your friend, I'm not sure what he looked like. He was probably just gonna die.
Yeah, he's definitely not gonna survive to the Sex Island.
Well, why? Is he a fat boy?
No, he's not fat. No, actually, he probably would survive to the Sex Island.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? You should have faith in your friends.
Yeah.
How dare you tell your friends they wouldn't survive Sex Island?
We'd be like getting some sun on the beach and just being violated in all kinds of ways.
Okay, so let's say you're picked up and brought to Sex Island, okay? You're in the van, you're on your way there. They're like, hey, we tricked you. You're going to Sex Island. You're going to be there for a long time. You're either we're going to fuck you. Everyone's going to fuck you all the ways. Any way you could think of, there's 2 more we know. You're like, holy shit. Now, you could either fight it or enjoy it. You're going to be there. You're going to be there regardless. If you fight it, it's still going to happen just as many times. let's just say like 38 times in a month. I don't know. I want to do a couple more days than days, but you'll get some days off, but then some days you're working a double. You know what I mean? Like
Oh
it's
yeah,
tough.
holidays and stuff. I'm
Yeah,
working
it's tough.
extra.
Martin Luther King Day, it's tough. You think, don't I get this off? Like not here on Sex Island. Like, all right. But you're getting fucked a whole bunch regardless. So do you just
Where am I
in.
when I get to do the fight or flight? Like, am I in a van with a sack over my head, or am I on the sex island? Okay, I need to make a stand.
They have grabbed you. You didn't wake back up from the airport. You kind of
Mhm.
nodded. They grabbed you. You're tied up, but at this moment you can speak. But you're in the van. There's no escaping the van.
We're about to get on a plane that's going to Sex Island.
This is a van that you're like in the cartoons. The vans that can have like the wings that pop. It starts to fly. It's a flying van, and you're fucked. Well, first of all, I hate to break it to you. You didn't get brought to a good sex island. The simple fact is that it's not even actually an island.
I wanted to meet Bill Clinton.
It's more like a sex peninsula, and it's just they can kind of drive to it. They have to go through the water a little bit.
The sex Everglades. It's just swamp.
The sex sandbar. That's where you are. You're literally 4 feet from land. You're right there. Kids are building castles while you're just getting fucked every which way but Sunday. And you could escape. You're right there. It's a public beach.
Yeah, I feel like that's a real deciding factor. Like if it's an island, like my hopes of escaping are probably a lot less because I can't swim across like ocean currents.
No.
But if it's a peninsula or the
there
Everglades,
is no escape. This is an island that's got everything. There's sharks around it. There's lasers. Anything that can stop you. You're not going anywhere, and you're getting fucking used and or abused.
Huh.
You can either I'm in or I'm fighting every last bit.
So is this in international waters?
Yes.
I could just like I don't know. I think I would probably.
They're not big on law.
Yeah. But also, if the law doesn't apply to them, it doesn't apply to me either, I would assume.
Okay, but you
So
have.
if I had to murder one of these guys.
Okay, then how are you murdering? You are tied up. Let's just say they did you hog-tied style, where you hang in the air and you're hogged up, and they're gonna fuck you like a penis pinata. You're done.
So my arms and legs are behind my back?
Yeah, and you got a thing in your mouth.
So there's no possible way
They're
to
good
escape?
at what they do. They're probably the best in the business. You got picked by the best team.
I don't know. Like what? Like if there's no choice, if there's no way to escape, I mean,
Do you dig it or do you fight? Are you like, you know what? Maybe I like this.
I think I would never dig it. But I think I would like try. I don't know. I would try to say stuff that was like would get inside their head, maybe. Gross. Stop that.
You like that, you weirdo. You just shame them out of it. Maybe that would work. Like,
Yeah.
what? Wait, that's not. You don't like that? I mean, I guess it's for some people. It's not for me. But I guess some people would like the way you do that.
I could insult their manhoods or something.
Yeah, look at you and your tiny dick.
Of all the times I've been sexually violated, you're the worst at this. Like, geez.
It's funny. I remember every name of every person who's ever forced me to have sex with them, except for yours. You're forgettable.
Of the 100 people that have violated me before you, you're 101.
Yep. You know what? Actually, 99 people have only violated me, and you're still 101. We give a space for someone better to show up and not be you. That's how bad you are at violating.
Man.
I would be so into it that they would stop doing it. Because I think the whole point of it is that they like the part where they're in control. It's not really I don't think it's the sex for them, because I think they would just have regular sex. But I think they want to make sure, like, they want you to hate it. Like, that's their thing. So, like, if I'm like, woo, it's time again, and I'm like, I'll spit on your cock this time. They're like, what? Like, I got it. I think they would be like, you know what? Let's let that one go.
Yeah.
But they'd probably just kill me, because I would know a lot.
Well, I mean, less suffering for you, I guess. Like, if you look on the bright side, I mean.
I don't know. I've never been dead. So, like, I don't know if dead's good, but I've only been alive. So, like,
but this
no
is
matter
life.
what, I'll always choose life.
But this is life inside of like a slave box with a gimp mask over your face, a zipper probably is covering your mouth.
Yeah, but Dan, no bills.
Okay.
You're paying no bills, no mortgage, no rent, nothing. You don't have to. They're not gonna charge you. Even if you're eating gruel, you didn't have to pay for it. Like, it's free living. Yeah, you pay for it with your ass and mouth, but like, don't we all?
I guess so.
You really think about the scheme of things. Isn't that what the Matrix was all about? We're just getting butt fucked sideways, living the world that's not even ours.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it makes me feel like I've got more to live for now. I mean,
see, what if you got out and you're like, wow, now I can go on tour and talk about this?
Well,
I don't think I talk about it.
I feel like when Vietnam veterans come back from war, they're a little bit less likely to talk about the horrors that they've seen.
Did you just compare being butt raped on Sex Island with Vietnam?
I mean, it's a different version of hell, probably.
Which one do you think we won more?
We won
Vietnam or Sex Island? Where did Americans win more?
You know, because I don't know. You don't know how many Sex Island veterans are out there.
I want to go to that parade. Sex Island veterans.
There could be like hundreds of them, but they don't speak up because the horrors are much darker and scarier than the Vietnam horrors.
They got a big yellow flag. Don't come on me. Just flying around.
Yeah. You never know.
I would love. You do know. I do think it's hand in hand. I think if you go to a bar, there's just as many people at that bar who were in Vietnam that were also molested by someone they didn't know.
Oh yeah,
I think it's
double veteran.
Oh,
like the Vietnam Sex Island veteran. Man, if you
went to Vietnam and got molested.
Yeah. Oh man.
Imagine that. You're sneaking in. You're finding the Charlies. You're going through Ho Chi Minh Trail, and you're avoiding all the booby traps and everything. And you sneak into this one hut, and then this Vietnamese uncle just grabs you and throws a finger in your hole, and you're like, "Wait, what the fuck?" He's like, "Ah!" Like you're like, even if you kill him right after, you did just get diddled by a fucking Vietnamese. Like that's the worst.
I bet there are like tons of sex islands surrounding Vietnam.
Do you think there's any like? I don't even know if sex islands are real.
Well, there's that Epstein guy. He had one.
Okay, was it a sex island? Or was it just an island and then sometimes they had sex? Like I'm talking about a full-fledged 100%. This is a sex island. That's our number one import-export business. Sex. I don't know if there's a whole. I mean, who's giving them these islands?
I think they're just millionaires. Like they
islands.
Yeah, they buy them.
But okay, even if you buy a house, you still can't just do illegal shit in your house.
Well, yeah, you can. I mean. As long as nobody finds out.
Well, that's how all legal things work. You could rob a bank, but if you get caught, and like anyone buying an island, I'd be like, we're keeping an eye on them. Why
but
are you buying an island?
But nobody knew about Jeffrey Epstein's sex island until Bill Clinton started posing for paintings and wearing women's clothing. And
now, I don't believe he posed for that painting. I believe that was Jeffrey Epstein. And Joe Rogan has said this too, but I've heard it in many places, but I do believe this. Epstein was trying to prove that he had so much on all of them that they were his bitches. So Bill Clinton came over one day to go, "Hey, oh yeah, let's fuck some ladies." And then he goes, "Hey, you ever seen my new painting?" And he just had a painting made of Clinton in a dress going, "You're my bitch. You might be president of the United States, but look at you. You're a bitch on my wall. You're wearing a dress, you bitch."
Yeah, that does make sense.
I don't think he posed for it.
I feel like that, but that's probably true for most politicians. They all have that secret cross-dressing painting somewhere on somebody's dank sex island. Joe Biden probably has one. Donald Trump.
First of all, he's not a president yet, so how dare you already jump the gun and give Joe Biden a dress?
He's a vice president.
They vice presidents also have these?
I don't know.
There's a sexy Spiro Agnew painting out there somewhere. I gotta see it.
Yeah. Which would be the worst president to have a sexy sex island painting?
Taft.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
Poor Taft. I don't know anything about him, but I know I don't want to see that dude nude.
Everyone knows he's fat.
It looks kind of like a walrus. Yeah, nobody wants him.
Yeah, I mean, all the other presidents laugh at him because
who was the hottest president? JFK.
Maybe JFK. Yeah.
I guess he would be. I don't really know what dudes are hot, but like he looked the least creepy.
I feel like him, maybe Clinton. I mean, I don't know what the majority of the presidents look like.
Clinton looks fine until he speaks like a woman from Boston. You know what I mean? Like it's like it looks good. Then it's like no ma Garcia para. And you're like fuck, don't talk. Like his Alabama accent doesn't do it for me. Obama was a handsome man.
Oh yeah, that's right. Obama was a handsome, tall drink of water.
He was a tall drink of chocolate milk. Is that what you're supposed to say? Water's for white people.
Oh yeah.
But like I don't know. I'm trying to think about like the Bushes weren't hot.
Not really.
Jimmy Carter, Gerald Ford, no and no. I mean, Ford was an athlete in his time, but like not hot. Reagan his cowboy days wasn't bad, I guess.
He was an actor. Maybe he was considered to be hot for that period of time.
No, because you don't take a hot guy and have him act with a monkey. He was in a movie with a monkey.
But so was Clint Eastwood. Does he consider to be attractive?
No, I think he's gruff and tough, but I don't think women find Eastwood hot.
Oh.
Maybe back in the spaghetti westerns. Maybe he was hot then. But he's really not. Good, the bad, and the ugly. He's awesome, but it's because he's dirty and gross.
Yeah. Yeah, so no sex island paintings for him then, I guess.
I just started getting into like those westerns. I watched the whole that trilogy, not trilogy. You know what I mean? Like, Fistful of Dollars and Fistful of a couple more dollars and whatever the fuck it's called, the second one, a few dollars more, whatever, and then the third one. And they're not a trilogy, but they're a trilogy. And I don't know if you can make those movies ever again because there's so much pausing.
Well, the weren't they based on the Akira Kurosawa films, like the Yojimbo and maybe not the Seven Samurai, but I thought one of those movies was a remake of Yojimbo.
There's influences from it. I forget the name. Sergio, I forget his name.
Leone?
The director. Yeah, Leone. He was very influenced by that stuff. But those three movies all had Clint Eastwood, but not that he ever really had a name in the movies, but he had it. I think they would call him something, and he'd be a different name in each one. So there were three movies. It wasn't supposed to be the same Eastwood character in all three. It was supposed to be stories from the West and a person who's fights for his own rules and good but also bad type thing, but not supposed to be. You don't have to watch one to get the other. If anything, if you watch all three, you're kind of like, wait, is this all supposed to tie in? And it doesn't really.
I feel like my favorite Clint Eastwood Western is Unforgiven. I mean, even though Clint Eastwood kind of plays the same character in a lot of his movies, I like how he's just old and worn out.
I like old, worn out Eastwood better than young. I was not a Dirty Harry guy. I watched him once. Wasn't for me. Give me a Gran Torino Eastwood all day.
Yeah.
Give me old racist.
I did like Magnum Force, but I feel like the rest of the Dirty Harry movies just bored me.
Yeah, well, they weren't bad movies. I mean, I don't remember a movie I've watched him in where I didn't like him. I always like him, but he does play. To me, there's two kinds of actors. There's people that are so good at acting that you forget who they are, like a Philip Seymour Hoffman, and Paul Giamatti. There are people that are such good actors that you just get lost. I'll say this, even Leonardo DiCaprio to me, when I'm watching a movie with him in it, I don't go, oh, look, it's Leonardo DiCaprio. I get into the character he plays. Eastwood, every time he's in a movie, I'm like, oh, look, it's Clint Eastwood guarding the president. Oh, look, it's Clint Eastwood in the cowboy. Same thing with De Niro, Pacino. They're just fucking caricatures. It's just them doing stuff. Like Johnny Depp will morph into a character. You know it's him, but you don't think, oh, it's Johnny Depp being Willy Wonka. Like, you think it's Johnny Depp. You know what I mean? So I like that. I like Eastwood, but to me, he's not a good actor. He's just this cool personality that can remember stuff.
And there isn't like a lot of variation in cowboy costumes like there is in, I don't know, Willy Wonka or Jack Sparrow or all the quirky, unique characters that Johnny Depp plays. But I don't know. I guess that's like the downside of being a cowboy or gunfighting actor is that there isn't a lot of range in that type of person, maybe.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think back in the day when you did it, like the John Wayne days, you didn't have to be a good actor. It was just about killing. Like,
Yeah.
because there wasn't even like good. They weren't good fight scenes. They were the only fight scenes people knew. But if you look back at old westerns, it's pretty shitty. It's pew 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 pew, and then they run to another room, and they're like shooting from 8 million yards away, and they one bullet, and they hit like a guy in a window somewhere, and he falls off the hooker and hits the ground. It's like nowadays they get too into. See, that's the thing. I'd rather watch a movie that's silly, where I can and it can suspend belief and enjoy it, rather than nowadays every movie is like, well, the wind would be wrong and you couldn't make that shot. It's like, why do we have to all be experts on killing a guy? Like, just fucking make it silly. I don't know if they could ever make a good Western again. I think Unforgiven, Tombstone, I think that was our last ones.
I think it was interesting how like the majority of Unforgiven is just people talking about gunfighting and killing. Like it's this long conversation about killing, and you see like, oh, this kind of character thinks this about gunfighting. He's an idiot. This guy over here, he thinks this way about gunfighting, and he's like more knowledgeable people. And it's like almost like I don't know. I'm assuming that that's what character study is. I don't know a lot of film lingo, but it's kind of cool. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it was two things. It's one, it's definitely great character development and making you understand without saying this guy's smart, this guy's dumb. You understand the point of view of those people from now on after they spoke like that. But more importantly, I think it really focused on the time and letting you know that was the way of life. Like you had to know how to win a fight, because at any moment somebody could just come over and kill you, or you could be in a gunfight without, like we're saying before, like international art and joking around. There was no, the sheriff didn't give a fuck. He wouldn't want to get shot either. People would just shoot a sheriff. They would take the badge off him, put it on someone else, and say new job. Like it was crazy. So yeah, you need to know how would you fight in a gunfight? Are you ready? Are you quick? Can you do this? Are you going to be able to handle yourself? Because at any moment you're shot, and if you're a lady, you're just here until we decide you're not here anymore. Like life was great. If you were living back then, you had the same life as like a raccoon on a highway. Like you're hoping you're not going to get hit, but more than likely you ain't going to make it through the day.
I feel like that one of the things I like about that movie is that it's sort of universal, and that like the people who brag the most and talk like they know the most oftentimes know very little. Like that Schofield kid guy who was talking about, like I killed 5 men. One of them was a Mexican. He come at me with a shovel. Like even in the comedy world, there's so many comedians who just show up and it's their first day trying comedy, and they just lecture you like they've been doing it for 30 years. I feel like that type of person exists in so many pursuits.
Oh,
like
yeah.
Even the music world, like people would talk about, oh, the guitar player who talks about how good he is usually sucks, and it's the modest guitar player who doesn't think that he's great who it actually is good.
Well, it's even more so when you start to get good at something, you're not worried about the perception of what people think what you're going to do, because you know you're going to prove that you're good. You know what I mean? Like if you're good at something, you don't sit there and try to make sure everyone knows, no, I'm good. Now, you may talk about what you're doing, but you talk it more about as a craftsman, not a layman. You know what I mean? It's like, you're talking about comedy. It's like, oh, what do you do? What are you doing here at the open mic? Well, I've got this and this and this to work on. I'm trying this thing out, whatever. But if it's a newer person that comes in the first day, like you said, it's like, well, I've done 4 open mics before me. One time it was a Mexican open mic. It wasn't that good right there. And I hit somebody with a shovel, got a big laugh, walked off. It's like, okay, did you really? And then I go, oh, what were the 4 other mics you did? I know everyone that runs those 4 mics in the Mexican one. And they're like, well, it was all the people weren't there that day. And by the way, I have a girlfriend who's make-believe, and she lives in Canada, and she's a model. Like, oh, you're lying all the time. It's like, yeah, I think there's always those types of people.
That Mexican who came in with a shovel, I didn't really make him laugh.
No. He didn't even put his shovel down, like, for a second. Usually they put it down. They call it El Shovelo, and they put the El Shovelo down, and they wait to see if I'm funny. But this one, I was like, hey, everybody, welcome to comedy, and bing, he just hit me right in the head with a goddamn shovelo.
Oh, the number of times I've been assaulted with a shovel at a comedy open mic.
If I had a bombing story about my comedy career for every time I got hit in the head by El Jabongo, that was his name, I would have as many stories as I have.
Yeah.
I miss open mic, though.
Yeah, I went to the Sea Grape a couple, like not
I've
this
heard
Monday,
that
but
that was back, and I heard it's not bad.
it's all right. I was there the week before last, and everybody. I mean, they kind of had you sit at tables, and I guess you didn't have to wear a mask if you were sitting at a table, but they kind of they force you to buy food because I guess there are rules for the quarantine that say you have to have food at your table if you want to be there.
Well, here's the rules. I'm a scientist. I don't know if you know, a doctor and a scientist. So since we haven't seen each other in a while, during the quarantine, I became a doctor and scientist. I specialize in COVID.
Whoa, good job.
Yeah, I worked hard at it. Thank you, University of Phoenix. It's by the way, it's pronounced Phoenix. Layman say it the wrong way. Weirdly enough, because I've been performing at comics and places like that. Weirdly enough, the real rule about COVID is if you are standing up, then you're susceptible to it. You got to wear a mask. But if you're sitting down and happen to have mozzarella sticks or wings in front of you, those snacks have the ability to fight like karate, fight off the COVID as it's in the air and smack it away so you can take your mask off and eat. Yeah. Some people think it's just a way to quiet down small business from complaining that you stole all their money and destroyed them. So you're like, all right, we'll let people eat, but then they got to put the mask back on. That's where the part where people say, is COVID real, is it not? When it becomes that kind of shit, I'm like, I don't know how you can say either wear a mask all the time or don't, but you can't say wear a mask all the time unless you're sitting down and eating. Makes no sense.
I don't know. I'm just sticking with the marinara sauce as immune system strengthening.
Just covering my body. I just whip it on my whole body like I'm covered in garlic and vampires are out. You know, werewolves. Which ones don't like it? Is it werewolves?
Vampires don't like garlic.
What do werewolves not like? Silver bullets.
Yeah, but I feel like most people don't like silver bullets.
No one likes it unless you live in
Coors Light.
Ugh. Yeah. Boo. How do you drink this shit? It kills me every time. Silver bullet. What are you, Bob Seger? I don't need this shit. Your dumb band is named after the thing that kills werewolves. Not a good band. If they were, we'd know about them more. Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band. Like Tom Petty, we knew about the Heartbreakers.
Yeah.
Bob
I've
Seger.
never heard of the Silver Bullets.
They were the Silver Bullet Band. That was the band behind it. On the album, it always said that too, but real small. They're like Bob Seger, like in crazy, like that Trans Am writing with the fucking lines, and then underneath Silver Bullet Band.
Werewolves, not a fan.
No, werewolves are like boo. Night moves, go fuck yourself. I hate night, and I hate that song in that car commercial. It's like a rock. Fuck off. I hope a rock drops on your dumb head, Bob Seger, promoting the thing that kills us.
Oh man.
Hope a silver bullet hits your non-werewolfy family and just destroys you. What a dumb... That was lazy writing by the guy who first made werewolves. What kills them? Bullet to the heart. Yeah, that kills everybody.
So a regular bullet does not kill them if they get shot in the heart.
I don't know. I've never watched enough obviously werewolves aren't cool. If you go to the Mount Rushmore of monsters, like back in the day when we were kids, before they made so many more monsters. Now there's so many monsters you don't do. But the classics were Frankenstein, Dracula, Mummy, Werewolf. Those were the classics, right? Yeah. Those were the top four. Mummy, no one gives a fuck about mummies anymore.
Everyone likes zombies, which they're kind of the same thing, except I don't think zombies curse you.
Well, mummies are dead, wrapped up, and then come back. Kinda, I guess they're zombie-ish, but they don't eat you either.
What do? They strangle you?
I don't even know they reach you. They just put their arms out. They sleepwalk.
So, okay. That's not. They're actually kind of refreshing compared to the ones monsters that kill you.
They're really just trying to give you a big, sweet hug.
Oh, it's a mummy. Look at that little guy.
Just wrapped up in sweet bandages.
Just tousle his bandaged head.
Because zombies weren't really cool until like what? I mean, they were around, but like I would say, what, 15 years ago, zombies became cool.
I don't know. I watched Night of the Living Dead the other day, and I like that one. That's pretty
Right.
cool.
But that's a cult classic. It wasn't like the world was watching, not like Walking Dead and things where the world went nuts on zombies.
Hmm.
Like when Walking Dead came out, everyone's zombies on, and all of a sudden the Mummy dropped down. Werewolf, not really cool. Missing Link might be a top 5.
Missing Link?
The Missing Link.
Like Bigfoot.
Well, no, he's a different guy.
Who's the missing link?
He's like green, isn't he?
Are you talking about the creature from the Black Lagoon?
No, that's the creature from the Black Lagoon. Missing Link is a totally different guy from all of them.
And his name is the missing link.
Well, his name might be Herb. I don't know his fucking name, but it's like he's the Missing Link.
I've never heard of that.
He's the like. You never heard of the Missing Link?
No, only when you're talking about Sasquatches.
No, Sasquatch, which is the same name for Bigfoot, but his more fancy name. That's his government name. Sasquatch. Sasquatch. Now, do you think Sasquatch and the Abominable Snowman are the same dude?
Well, they're different species. Like Sasquatch is like the Bigfoot that lives in the Pacific Northwest, and the Abominable Snowman, also known as the Yeti, lives in the Himalayas. They're kind of like the same. Like they're the same. They're not the same species, but they're like lions live in Africa and tigers live in Asia, but they're both cats. Like they're both hominins.
They're cats?
No, the lions and tigers are both
okay.
cats.
I was like, wait, they're not cats.
But Yeti and Yeren and Sasquatch, they're all like the missing link between man and ape, but they just live on different continents.
Right, but there was also a monster that was he popped his head back in that Monsters versus Aliens cartoon. There's a thing called the Missing Link, but also I remember back a long time ago, he wasn't super popular, but the Missing Link was kind of like that, but he was also like green or some shit. Not like Creature from the Black Lagoon or Swamp Thing, which are two different people as well. But like your Yeti and your Sasquatch from the same species, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Plant people. Right? Because that's what they are. They were people, then they died and got infested by plants, right?
I guess so. And then isn't there also Man-Thing, the Marvel version of Swamp Thing? Or wait, is Swamp Thing is Marvel? Man-Thing must be DC. They're plant Sasquatches.
Swamp Thing is DC because I had that DC channel and Swamp Thing had a TV show on it.
Okay. Then Man-Thing must be Marvel.
Man-Thing is kind of a bullshit name.
Yeah.
Man-Thing is the laziest name I've ever heard of my entire life.
Yeah.
What is it? It's a man. It's a thing. We did it.
Yeah. What's the thing part? Like it's supposed to be like Wolf Man, Batman, Superman, not Man Thing.
What the
question mark?
What the fuck is this? It's a man thing. You know. It's, you know, like when sometimes you don't want to use a coaster. It's a man thing. You know? I know these dames and these broads want me not to put a ring on the table, but sometimes you gotta be a man. You know, do a man thing. Can we create that comic book? Man thing. It's just a guy who does only things men like I burp in public. I scratch my nuts. It's a man thing.
It's just about Andrew Manning.
Early
years as a comedian.
Yeah, I haven't talked to him in a while, but I saw he looks like an actual boy now, or a man, an actual man on his thing. So the testosterone is working for that young man.
I should try that.
You look like a man. You just gotta cut your hair if you want to be a man.
Yeah, I guess so. Not
that anyone thinks that way anymore, but still, I think that's what you think. You still think like a 70s kind of guy, and you're not a 70s person at all. You're not even from the 70s.
I don't know. I like 70s music.
What's the best 70s music?
I like Led Zeppelin. That's one of my favorite bands of all time. Jimi Hendrix.
I don't know if you know this. I think you do know this. I don't know why I'm saying that. But on Sundays, I do classic rock. I'm on PLR now. I don't do Fox anymore. I'm on WPLR. And September, all of September, was not called September in PLR. It was called September.
Whoa.
And we played a bunch of blocks of Led Zeppelin, and I'd have to have like facts afterwards. And they're supposed to be like real facts, but I don't have any real facts. So my facts were just made up things I said. And one time I was like, what was this song? Shit, I forget this. I forget the name of the song. It's not about disagreeing.
Oh,
title.
communication breakdown?
Communication breakdown. There you go. I said, that's communication breakdown. And I think there was always a communication breakdown with the band Led Zeppelin, because one would be like, hello, governor. I want to make a song that's 9 minutes long. And the other one goes, but governor, I want to make a song that's 2 minutes and 28 seconds long. And the third one's like, governors, we should make two that are 5 minutes each. And they're like, no, governor, we're not doing that at all. It's a communication breakdown. Now sing about Frodo. And then I would hit the button to play the next song. Like, they let me do whatever I want. But it's like, people are listening, waiting for real music knowledge, and that's my governor thing. Or that's just in it.
That story just encapsulated the entire Led Zeppelin history, I feel like.
I just captured it all. That's how they talk. They're like, we got long song, short song, whatever. And then one time I was like, another one of their songs came on, and I was like, I think that Peter Jackson really missed it. Like, he spent so much money on making Lord of the Rings. Why wouldn't you buy the library of all songs that are about Lord of the Rings from Led Zeppelin? Like, imagine if, they're running, Gandalf like, run, you fools. It's like, dun, 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 ah, like, that would have been awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, you might go, well, that song wasn't around back then. Well, back then isn't real, stupid. That was magic times. They should have done that, but they didn't do it. And want to know why they didn't do it? Because Robert Plant, he's not only suggested, he is adamant that those songs were never about Lord of the Rings. Dude, you say Mordor. He say
says
Sauron.
Gollum.
He says Gollum. And he said they're not about it. Like, how? You just like those words?
Yeah. This is a different Gollum. It's a coincidence. It's parallel thinking.
But he talks about the story of it, like, in the songs.
I feel like Led Zeppelin, they were so whacked out on all kinds of drugs that they don't even remember. Like, I remember there were all these weird stories about how Led Zeppelin took a mud shark and just shoved it up a woman's private parts. And then somebody asked them about it. And Robert Plant was, I have no recollection of any of that. Like, there are all these crazy stories about them doing all kinds of debauchery.
You should always have a recollection of that. Like,
yeah,
the answer should be, we did it, or, oh my God, I would never do that. There's not like, let me look back at my calendar. What day was it?
Let me check my itinerary.
Yeah, that's like when the guy from Canada, their prime minister, Justin Trudeau, whatever, when he would get in trouble for blackface, when he did all the blackface, and he was just like a crazy Egyptian. And then they're like, we found his other picture of you in blackface a second time. He's like, oh, well, that one was when I was in high school. Then they're like, there's this third one. And he goes, oh, I don't even remember that one. I like how he's done blackface so many times. There's sometimes like, I don't know. I've done it so much. Sometimes I slip my mind. Led Zeppelin, you're such a huge fan. Do you believe they stole all their shit? A lot of people think that. They sound familiar to the other songs that were out.
They probably did. They probably stole a lot, but at the same time, I think that back then people knew a lot of these songs that you didn't always have to say, and now here's a song by this person. Like, you could just play it and then everyone knew who wrote it. So I don't know. I feel like they were just lazy and that they didn't properly credit people.
Yeah, probably that. I know a lot of times when music first started, I mean, everything was covers. I mean, half of Elvis's fucking whole catalog is covers. Yeah, no one says that. They all say it's just Elvis songs, but it's not just Elvis songs. Nothing But a Hound Dog wasn't his first. It was some black guys. Elvis was the biggest cultural appropriator of all times.
Yeah, but even like a lot of the blues singers, like they're singing songs. Like, there are tons of albums that are made up of songs that were written by other people. Like, I just feel like it was more common for people to just play a variety pack of songs that were popular. Like, even Beatles live at the BBC, they're just singing all kinds of songs that they didn't write.
Yeah, they love to. And they should. Why not? They wrote so many songs. They should do other people's.
Yeah.
I got like a Facebook battle thing, whatever. I was saying, what's the most overrated band ever? And then people, whenever anyone puts the Beatles, I just dismiss them as a human being. You could not like the Beatles. If you want to sit there and say you don't enjoy their song, well, I think the Beatles, if you don't like their music, it's because you've heard it so much you're tired of it. To me, you can't just not like. There are certain sounds in this world that are just going to make you tap your foot or move your head or feel good or whatever. And the Beatles learned how to do that. Yeah. You can sit there and say you don't like them, but you can't say they're overrated. They changed the way music is. Like they changed the way we see bands. They changed the way we see, how people how fandom happened. I think there was a huge difference in pop culture before them and after them. You can't just say they're under or overrated. They're underrated even when they're rated number one.
Yeah, and especially if you look at how people were reacting to them at the time when they were popular. How can you deny, like, we can't go on tour anymore because people keep bum rushing our airplane, and we can't like function because mobs of people are showing up. We have to go to the studio and only work from the studio from now on. People are shooting
such talent. They had 4 people, and then people joke about Ringo, but 4 people could legitimately all write number one hits.
Yeah.
I mean, not as many for Ringo, but
yeah. I mean, I guess like even when Paul, like I remember my father always used to say like John Lennon was more like the lyric guy and Paul McCartney was more of the musician. And when they split their ways, like Lennon was like his songs weren't as musical, and McCartney's songs were a little less lyrical, but like they still managed to be popular, and they still were involved in projects that were popular.
Who do you like more?
McCartney, I think.
Me too. I always like McCartney better.
Yeah, I mean, but again, like I think John Lennon's lyrics are better. It's just that I don't know. I think I listen more to the music than I listen to the lyrics. In fact, I'm very I have a habit of not really listening to lyrics a lot of the time. Like, Led Zeppelin, I love their music, but I can't really tell you what the lyrics are.
See, I'm the opposite. Like, I if I have to calm down and like relax or whatever, I'll try to find music that has barely any words in it or words I could not care about, so I can listen to the music. But to me, I'm always listening to words. Like, I learned the words of songs like the first time I hear them. I tune in more to that than I do the music part, and so therefore I appreciate a singer-songwriter way more than some just shitty lyrics. You know what I mean? Like, I've gotten more into country music as I've gotten older because the newer country music, like the Chris Stapletons of the world and Luke Combs, like that, it's real writing. It's them writing stories again, almost like folk music, but with better music in the background to me. Like nowadays, but any band nowadays that's considered a rock band is just covering something from a while back, but just giving it a weird spin. And the only people that are writing anything now are rappers or country music people, it seems like.
Huh.
They're the only ones writing new lyrics. Everyone else is just covering shit.
Yeah.
Like pop people are just singing old shit.
Usually I just listen to old music. I don't really listen to the radio that much. I don't even know what bands are popular anymore.
I'm saying that to you, and I'm a radio personality on a classic rock stations. I don't fucking know. And also, what I'm on PLR, the music's so old that it's almost falling into the category of oldies now.
Yeah, that's weird to me.
Think about that. That music's older than us. We're oldies. Like, when I was on Fox, and that was 90s and early 2000s, that's starting to be considered classic, and the other stuff is oldies. And then the oldies is like fucking like prehistoric. I don't know what it's like. You think about, like, I guess you would say like the Beatles are so old, they'd almost be like if you were like, hey, it's like Beethoven to some kid. It's like it's from a long time ago.
Yeah.
I mean, their grandparents listened to the Beatles, and some of their grandparents are dead. Like, that's how great that music is. And so you can still hear. Like, I was watching a YouTube thing with Seamus. He watches like one of the games all the kids are playing now is Among Us. And it's just a game where like you have to like search around his little rooms or stuff like that, and all the kids play it. They watch people play it. Some of the video people will play it on there, like the YouTube people will play it and make jokes, whatever. And there's this one guy from England. He's like 16. His name's Tubbo, but he's not fat, which I was like, what the fuck? But I guess his name's like Tobias. And he doesn't like the name, whatever. He likes to. I think he's almost like a young Dan Brown because like he's playing this game and then he just starts doing like jazz for no reason. He's like, and I'm cracking up like, what do you do? He goes, yeah, sometimes this guy just does jazz. And then he starts actually just playing jazz, a 16-year-old kid playing old jazz. And then a minute later, he starts playing Hello, Darkness, My Old Friend. And he starts playing the actual song. And he goes, it's making my computer lag, but I can't. And then he played the Beatles a minute later. And I'm like, those songs are so much older than this 16-year-old boy, but he still connects to those. He's not, when he wants to get a point across on a video for millions of people that are watching, he's still using that music, which is crazy to me. Like, you know what I mean? It still has that connection.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's a lot more emotional content in some of these older songs.
And there's a lot of songs, like, there's also some bullshit ones. Like, I will always say the worst song ever written is The Boys Are Back in Town. That's the worst song ever created of all time. It's the dumbest story. It's the dumbest lyrics. It's the dumbest music. It's just dumb. It's told from a dumb point of view. The boys are back in town. The boys are back. First of all, who cares? Who gives a fuck about the boys? Why are we caring they're back in town? Who is this guy? This guy who's singing about them isn't even part of the boys. He's just some fucking loser. He's like their bard. He's going around like, you know, they're like fighting dragons, and he's just like, here comes the dragon slayers. They are going to fight. And you're like, what are you doing here? Get your little dumb mandolin out of here. And he's like, the boys are back. You know, they'll do what they want. They'll grab this lady. It's like, what? They're rapey, and they're like mean, and the boys are terrible. I'm mad they're back in town. Ban them from this town.
I feel like there's a song like that by the Eagles called "Life in the Fast Lane."
Yeah.
I hate that song. Like, I love the music to it, but the lyrics, like, she was brutally handsome. No, he was brutally handsome. She was terminally pretty. Like, it's just such a mouthful. Like,
yeah. They were like,
hate it.
I think that Henley got drunk and just started reading Hallmark cards. Like, that's basically what it was like. Or he was just doing Mad Libs. That's what he was doing. He's like, terminally pretty? Oh, okay. Yeah, that's I like the Eagles, but some Eagles songs are garbage.
Yeah, their lyrics, I just can't stand. I can't take them sometimes.
Desperado, I love.
Yeah,
that's to me. That song is written well, but I like the. I some people like the Joe Walsh version better. I don't like Joe Walsh's voice, but I do like it. It feels more emotional in the covers he did of it.
Oh, I think I know. Joe Walsh also had like a solo career too, didn't he?
Right. Oh, Joe Walsh had one before them and came in, and then had one afterwards too. And Joe Walsh just that shit. You would almost cockery.
I feel like he's got some corny sounding songs that for some reason get stuck in my head. He's the one that sings like something like "Life's been good to me so far."
Yes.
Boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom, boom. Yeah, I feel like that gets stuck in my head sometimes, even though I rarely listen to it. Like, I think I just listened to WPLR like when I was younger, and they would always play that, so now it's burned into my brain.
See, like Joe Cocker's one of those guys. I don't think he ever wrote a song. I think he just covered shit.
Yeah.
What will you do in my head?
And then he'd like mumble and have a seizure.
Just stand there and hold my tongue because I'm having a fucking stroke. I'm trying to help from my friends. I gotta call the ambulance and help me badly because I'm dying. It's like it wasn't good. It's like there's a better version, but you like the version, you like how he sings. You know, there's like him, and there's a couple of guys that would cover things like that. What's his name? John Hyatt. Where they have a little faith in me. It's like things were good covered. He has a better version, but the Cocker does. It's like. I can't faith in you. Have a lozenge. Like, what are you doing?
But he's also got like backup singers that definitely add a lot. Like, they add to the soulfulness of what he's trying to do.
That's gotta suck if you're like a back vocalist and you're good. Like, you're obviously a black woman and you're pretty heavy, or you're a white woman that he wants to fuck, but you can drown it out with the fat black lady, and like so they're like, "Die to hell for my friend," and they're like. Ooh, and they're like angels, and he's like,
hacking up a loogie.
He's literally poltergeisting all over them, just spinning around. The power of Christ compel with my friends. And they're like, ooh. If I was ever a musician, I would have a black choir behind me on every song. Every song. I don't know why not every song in the world doesn't have a black choir and a part of a marching band. That's all I'd want. The drum part of a marching band. A ton of drums. Or maybe a couple trumpets. I like trumpets. I like when horns are. I like Chicago before. Don't get me wrong. I also like Peter Cetera Chicago, but I don't consider them the same band at all. But original Chicago, with all the great music they have, I can listen to bands with horns all day. I think it needs horns.
I don't know. I guess I don't. I like horns in movie soundtracks a lot because they're so intense. But I don't know if I listen to too many like pop or rock songs with horns in them.
I don't like ska.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Like Mighty Mighty Boss. I mean, I know one or two songs, but like it's too much horns. That's all horns. It's like, and there's just some little dude dancing around. Like, what is your role? Like, I dance. It's like, how did you get that job? I also carry the weed through the airport. Like, oh, okay. I didn't realize you were the weed mule. Yeah, I can't just dance.
It takes a lot of skill to dance like that with weed wedged up your orifices.
Does it? I've only danced one way, Dan. So I don't know. Maybe it's easier. Maybe if my butt cheeks are all clenched, I dance better.
Yeah.
I
feel like it would make you very rigid. Like maybe you could do something rigid, like a robot.
Yeah, but
thing.
Who do you think invented the dance the robot?
Some heroin mule.
Heroin mule. Oh, so you put heroin in his butt.
You can have other stuff.
I don't even know what heroin looks like.
It doesn't. I think it's like comes in a powder, and then you cook it in a spoon.
Isn't that crack? Oh no, crack's like a crystal thing.
In Pulp Fiction, that was heroin that they were using, right?
Yes. Okay. Yeah, but were they? I mean, I guess they were being accurate.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I guess they could just make it up, but I would feel like
I've never seen heroin.
Neither have I.
I saw crack rock twice.
Yeah, I'm not.
But they had to tell me that's a crack rock because I thought Superman was building a new fucking fortress. I was like, ooh, small crystals.
Oh, so it looked like it? Did it look like a crystal?
Yeah, it was a little crystallized.
And it was clear?
It was very tiny.
Huh.
So it wasn't really clear. It was kind of dirty. Did you see the new Shazam movie? Speaking of Superman, did you see Shazam?
No, I did not.
It's great. I'm telling you, it's fucking
Who is
fantastic.
Shazam?
Shazam's from DC. He's a hero, superhero. You don't know Shazam, the comic book
Oh,
guy?
is he the guy that was also the
He's a
DC
boy,
Captain
and then he's a
Marvel?
man. Well, no, that's Captain Marvel.
But I thought Captain Marvel was a superhero, and then Marvel wanted the name Captain Marvel, so they made their Captain Marvel, and then Captain Marvel became Shazam, I think, and he was like a boy that would go Shazam, and then he would change it to a man.
But his real name is Billy. It's like they never really, in the comic books they never really gave him a name.
He was like
just
Private Marvel.
Yeah,
or Private Shazam.
Well, he's just Billy Batson, whatever. But they made a movie out of it like a year or so ago. I watched it on YouTube the other day, and it's fucking hilarious. It's great. It's one of my favorite superhero movies. I watched that this week, and I watched Birds of Prey, and that's the one of with Harley Quinn and the other women, and that's the worst fucking superhero movie of all times.
Huh, why? What happened in it?
It's got women in it trying to be cool. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but obviously Margot Robbie got a hold of this and was like, we're going to make it so all women are tough and all men are dumb and we're all independent. And Harley Quinn's not going to be this woman that needs the Joker. She doesn't need anybody. She's an independent woman. Like, well, that's the whole story of Harley Quinn, that she's so dependent on the Joker that she loses her mind. Like, you just take away from the story.
I feel like people like that happens to female characters nowadays. I kind of feel like female character like Ellen Ripley from Alien, one of my favorite characters of all time, and she wasn't just like acting like a smug, sanctimonious a-hole like female characters always seem to be these days. Like I want to see more characters like that.
Joe Rogan says that's to him that's the greatest lead in any of those action movies. It's like it's a female, and she was badass, and no one's really ever captured it ever since.
I always find that characters like that, who are not necessarily like I like Conan, but characters who are not necessarily muscular and athletic are also interesting to me. Like
Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
In every action movie, Bruce Willis is awesome because he's not muscular. That he has to use his brain a little bit, and he's got to use like tricks and be wily. It can be a little bit tough, but he would take an ass kicking in all the movies. When he was at his Bruce Willisist, like at his top part of his game, he wasn't a tough, strong. He wasn't Jean-Claude Van Damme doing splits and kicking you. He was fucking shooting you with a gun or avoiding you or figuring shit out. That's what made Die Hard cool. He wasn't like strong. He just wouldn't quit.
Yeah. I like Ripley because she's like strategic, and like a lot of what she does has to do with logistics, and like we're in this space age complex, and there's all this weird futuristic technology. Like, how do we use it to our advantage? And I don't know, like that part of it's always been interesting to me.
Yeah, like I like a character that has to figure shit out. I like a character that at the beginning doesn't understand the world like we do. We also don't understand it, but at the end they can figure it out and become the best at it. Like, I like a lot of the idea of the Matrix. It's just that it just got too weird for me by the end of it. But like, I like the idea of someone coming into this world and then becoming like their Jesus. It was fine, but like, I don't know, it just got too weird.
I only saw the first Matrix. Everyone said that the 2 and 3, the second and third movies were a little goofy or a little too weird. So
They're weird, but like I mean, if you're gonna watch one, you gotta watch all three just to know how it ends. It's just it basically it's the trans Bible.
The trans Bible.
Yeah, the people that wrote that are like they're like trans, and they said that was like them letting people know
transgendered.
Like, yeah, that's the only kind there is now, I think.
Oh.
What other trans?
I don't know. I just
Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Like, but like, are there transgendered characters in the Matrix?
No, but like the people that wrote, but it's supposed to be about like seeing the world a different way and becoming who you really are, and Neo was lost when he was in this other world, but when he got to finally find out who he really was, he could thrive. So if you're a dude and you really think you're a lady, you should fucking chop your cock off. I don't know. That's the story.
Sounds very biblical.
I wouldn't know what to do with that thought. If one day I was just sitting there and I'm like, I'm a lady, I would just ignore that thought. Because I don't think that's I would never have that thought. But like, just imagine you're sitting there, you're just like watching TV, going, "I'm a lady. I know I'm not a lady, but inside, I'm a fucking lady." And now I'm gonna tell everyone I'm a lady, and I'm gonna be a lady. Because if you can have that thought, once you become a lady, 5 years later you can go, "I'm a man. Ah, shit. I cut off my Johnson. Now I can't be a man." So, I'm not saying, I'm sorry. I'm sure no one transgender is watching my show. But like, if you are, I mean, I hope you're happy with whatever the fuck you did. I just never will understand it because that thought would never cross my mind.
Yeah, I don't.
Do you ever think about being a lady, Dan?
Not really.
Not really.
I mean, I just don't know. Like,
that sounds like maybe you did.
No, like No, I haven't really thought.
Well, are we cracking something? Are you gonna be a lady?
Yeah, I'm gonna be a lady. I'm just gonna have some surgery.
Congratulations. It's a lady.
Yeah, no, I just don't. I don't really think about it at all. I'm sure people have joked about that sort of thing, and I probably thought about it on a very superficial level, but I just don't really.
Never once thought about being a lady. I know ladies. I don't want to be a lady. Ladies do it fine. I don't know what I would. Life wouldn't be better for me as a lady.
I think because I've generally grown long hair, and a lot of people can't seem to wrap their heads around a haircut.
They'll make the joke, but I meant like you've never on the inside said I don't fit in life because I'm the wrong gender.
I've never felt like I didn't fit in because I was the wrong gender. Not fit in for other reasons.
Yeah, I know that people would still not like. I'd be a very aggressive woman too. I don't think I'd just be nice. I don't think all of a sudden be like, "Oh, Pat would make a great lady." I'd be I'm a bad enough guy. I'm a terrible lady.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be good at it either. I
hate
dancing.
I'd be a good sassy black woman.
Oh yeah, I mean, definitely.
I think there should be one holiday we're allowed to wear blackface, and we put pillows in our stomach and we just run around going, "Oh shit, you don't know about nothing." And
oh no, you didn't.
Right? So much stress would leave your body if you were allowed to just run around and talk like a fat black woman for a day. Like, it would be amazing. Like, we wouldn't need therapy or like medicine. Once a month, you're allowed to run around and yell shit like a fat black woman who's been scorned, and just yell whatever the fuck you want, no repercussions or nothing. Man, that would feel good.
Yeah,
we need that. But we'd have to change. I guess I couldn't say fat. I guess we'd have to just say like African American princesses. Then they'd let us do it. Even the fat ones.
Make me break my foot off on your ass.
Precious Day. You just go around going, no, I know you ain't be doing what I think you is be doing. That's probably the most racist. If there's going to be one thing from this episode someone takes on its own and just plays, it's me doing that broken English. That was my Irish accent.
I think that the like the squeaky wheel gets the most grease kind of applies to this, and like the most obnoxious type of a certain person is the one that the stereotype sticks to. Like the loudest type of person is the one that people say, oh, that's what they're all like.
They are. They're all stereotypes are usually 100% dead on.
Yeah,
they are. I that's why people hate them, because you're mad that you're that. You're like, I can't stop being that right now.
yeah.
Like Irish people are drunks. Okay, yeah, I drank and I don't drink now, but I did drink. Irish people love to drink to the point where they brag about it. They have a holiday where it revolves around drinking. All the other holidays don't revolve around drinking. That's the only one that is besides New Year's Eve, which is not a national, not like a race holiday. What other holiday revolves around getting fucked up at a parade? None of them.
I feel like
black people have big dicks. They do. They're big. They're big dicks. It's a good stereotype. It's one of the ones I wish Irish had.
I feel like I don't really know what kind of stereotype would apply to me. I mean, the only thing I've heard, like my father's family is from Newfoundland, and they're supposed to be like the weirdos of Canada. And I guess I'm pretty weird, so maybe that stereotype does fit me. Like
Canadians are a little oddball and goof. You know what I mean? Just in general, they're laid back. You're a laid back guy. You don't want to really offend anybody. You kind of live your life like Canadian. That's a stereotype. You're nice to a fault. That's what Canadians are. You know? Americans, we're fucking rude. We're fat. And we're gay.
Yeah.
Aren't we gay?
I think we're pretty gay.
Okay. We're the gayest country, right? I'd say we have the most gays.
I don't know. I don't know what the statistics on gay percentages in population.
I mean, it seems like all of America's gay. Turn on TV, everybody's gay.
Maybe, but like the Isle of Lesbos, where lesbians came from, their island is named after lesbians.
Yeah, it is.
So maybe it's Greece.
But they shipped them out.
Oh yeah, they're all here now, probably.
First of all, the Greeks love same sex.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, that's right.
Love it.
Spartans were just nailing. Dudes were nailing dudes 24/7.
What was that guy John Shay's joke about the yogurt?
I vaguely remember it.
So do I. Oh, God damn it. It's like Greek yogurt. It's the same thing, but it's gay on top. That wasn't the joke. I can't remember. Fruit on the bottom. I don't know. It was on the bottom.
Doesn't he have like a fundraiser because he's beating cancer? Or is that a different guy?
Oh, shit. Sorry, John. I had no idea. Sorry about your cancer. I hope it's good. No, that's John James.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, John James is my friend, and he has cancer. He's doing it. I didn't know about the fundraiser, so I'll check that out to make sure. I didn't know about that, but I knew he has cancer. John James used to do comedy before you started, and he would do all jokes about his cat with AIDS.
I mean, they get AIDS.
Yeah, I know. And he'd be like, he goes, my cat has AIDS, and I got AIDS from my cat. He's like, it's not what you think. We didn't have sex. We shared needles. He's just like, he would just shake and do that. He had like 10 Michael J. Fox jokes.
These are all topics that society needs to tackle.
Yeah.
The cat AIDS epidemic that's sweeping the nation.
I bet you it is. I mean, like, well, who cares? I don't care if a cat has AIDS.
But what if cats were all dying from autoimmune disease all over the country and becoming extinct?
I don't like pets.
What?
I don't.
I can't believe it.
What? I don't like pets. People give me shit for that. I don't hate them. If you have a pet, good for you. But like, I don't care about animals. Like, I don't. I don't give a fuck about animals. Like, I think that people that say they do are lying. Like, how could your life be that free and easy where you could just care about fuck animals? They don't do shit for me. I don't care about them.
I guess it depends on what kind of an animal. Like, if it has charisma, then sure. But
I don't like people with charisma. Like, get out of here. I don't like people named charisma.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
I don't give a fuck about charisma. An animal, to me, is nothing more than food. Like, if someone has a dog and they're like, "This is my dog," and I have to hang around with it for a week, I'll pet it. I'll be nice to it. I'm not gonna go out of my way to go near it. But if it comes near me, I'll respect its space the same way hopefully it respects mine. But I won't give a fuck about it. I'm like, "Oh, I can't wait to see that dog. Give me that dog," and grab it. Like those people that fucking fuck yeah, and start like touching its nuts or whatever they're doing to it. I don't like that.
Whoa. What's the longest amount of time that you spent with a dog?
I had it. We had animals when I was a kid.
Oh, and you still don't care about them?
Didn't give a fuck about them then. I don't have any dog memories. I don't give a fuck about them now.
I feel like I used to feel like I didn't care about dogs, but there are a couple of dogs that had a good temperament that kind of grew on me. But yeah, I don't think I'd go out of my way to get a dog.
Like a couple months ago, or like beginning of August, my daughter stayed here for a week as Seamus went with his mom to North Carolina. So she stayed here, and they have a dog now, and they brought the dog for a week. He was a cool dog. I took him on walks and did stuff, but like I didn't miss him the second he was gone. I didn't give a fuck. He was nice and he was here. I made sure he was taken care of and treated good. And I fed him some chicken. He liked chicken. I would make him chicken. He didn't want his dog food when he was here, so I cooked him chicken breast to be nice to the man. Like, you're on vacation too. Here's some chicken. And then when he left, I don't give a fuck now. When I see him, it's not like, "Hey man, how's it been?" I don't give a fuck. He's a dog. He just jumps at me and forgets that I knew it existed. We both forget the other one existed, kind of. That's how it works. I don't give a fuck about dogs or fish or cats or any of that shit. If someone has a dog and they care about it and I like that person, I'll be cool to it. That means something to them, but I don't actually give a fuck about the dog.
Yeah, fish I understand because they're kind of interesting for like about an hour, and then they're just like a burden. Like, okay, I gotta feed this fucking thing again. Oh, I gotta wash this nasty fish bowl out.
Yeah, and you can't do shit with it. You're just staring at it. Like, if I had to like one, it would be a dog, so at least I can go for a run with it. But still, it's not the same as going for a run by yourself. You still now have a chore and a task, and you have to worry about something shitting and worry about someone else's. I don't care about it. I don't get the whole thing about anyone that's like, "Oh my God, you don't understand a pet in your life." You just want to own something and control it. That's all it is to me. You want to control this thing. Because you're not equals. It's not your child. It's not a fur baby. It's a fucking dog. You're an idiot. You're a dumbbell. Call back to that.
Why do people? Fur baby is just such a. I don't know.
Nasty.
Yeah,
Nasty.
I hate like popular terminology. Like, I'm a fur mama.
Oh, especially when you know it came from some fucking dope, and then everybody just jumped on board with it.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. But if you have a dog out there or a cat, you'll be like, "Oh, fuck pet." I was fine with Fuck Island and everything else. But then when you didn't like dogs, it's not going to affect your life if I like dogs. You don't have to tell me that I need to like dogs. That's what I hate about dogs. That's why I think I hate dogs. If dogs were just on their own and I had to interact just with dogs and not the people that own them, I'd be fine with them. It's people that tell me, "You need to love dog. You should love my dog. My dog's this. My dog." I don't give a. Why do I have to care? Why are you fucking so fired up about me liking your stupid? That's your thing. Like your thing. I don't need to like your thing. That's your thing.
Do you think that part of it is that, like, if somebody says they don't like dogs, you're just like, "Yeah, I don't really care," but you don't want to just say, you feel like compelled to like, "Well, I'm not going to just stare blankly. Like, I'm going to have a conversation. So I'm going to play devil's advocate, even though I don't really care what the person's opinions are about anything." Like, I don't know.
Yeah, whenever I'm in a conversation with somebody I can't stand the conversation, I make sure I make it argumentative. I really do. And people hate me for that even more. They're like, "I thought you didn't care about this." I'm like, "I don't, but now..."
Fuck you and your opinion about everything.
Yeah. It's like, I don't give a shit about your beliefs at all. Like, and I don't care so much. I'm going to make you question them. And I have no stake in the game. I'm going to argue to the point where I make you second guess everything you ever believed in. And in reality, I don't give a fuck about what I just said, and I probably made most of it up. That's what I do for entertainment. So, Dan, you got anything coming up? Tell people about your cartoons. Oh, real quick, by the way, I'm gonna put my 2 cents out. I didn't put it on Facebook. I want to talk to you. Don't change the name of it. Who cares if the world's opening back up? It's hilarious because you look back at it and it might close down again anyway. Clubs are still like at half openings. They're not even. It's what I love about your cartoons is not only that you're captured. By the way, my favorite character so far is Cliff Mula was amazing. Him dancing around in the bar mitzvah was fucking tremendous. But I've loved all of them. But like I love the fact that they'll tell a joke to no one, and you show that you turn and sign. So don't change it. Don't start putting people in that club. Be captured in that. I think it still can work. You know
Well,
what I mean?
I just thought like it seemed like everything was opening back up, and I wrote that status, but then all of a sudden like Trump has the coronavirus, Melania, all the people who work at the White House have it. So maybe it isn't going away. Like maybe it's just popping up in a different place now.
Well, it's still around for a while. Things aren't opened up at all really yet. I mean, some clubs are starting to do some comedy. Some people are putting on shows, but they're not. You're not making money. We're still at like 35%. I mean, some places might be at 50, but like you're still wearing masks in places. It's still relevant. And
Yeah.
I also think that if your show just becomes a cartoon of people doing comedy, it just becomes a cartoon stand-up comedy. And I like the fact that you made comics not do their act. Like one or two of them, like, Cowboy just did his act, but that's a Cowboy. I mean, I know he said he was, but I'll do it, but he didn't do anything COVID. He said, before COVID, I went to Boston and just did his act. It's like, all right. And that's him, whatever. But like, I like the fact that 95% of the people that you let do it and you drew cartoons of all decided to work on material for it. And it was a fun thing for comics to do. It got me starting to write and think about stuff again. And now when I'm doing my act now, I've got like 25 minutes of new material that I'm doing because it made me start thinking, don't go back to the old stuff because the world has changed. And I like that you've captured it in that way. But also, it's a cool little thing like that. You could open up a second club if something else bad happens. Like, here's the AIDS club or whatever. I don't know.
Well, I think the reason that I wanted people to write material specific about like pandemic life was because I didn't really want them to burn their material so that they wouldn't have things when people come to see them live.
Well, also, and I think it was smart because I don't know if you meant to do this, but like if you gave them their actual material and they put it out there, they would be so much more judgmental and harder to deal with. They felt like they weren't doing anything anyway. It was fun to just give you that, but it's whatever. It's just some cartoon thing Dan's doing. But if I gave you my old real material and then I saw it come out and then people weren't like giving it 1 million likes, I'd be like, it must be because Dan drew it wrong because these jokes are the great. Like, these are my bread and butter. I'm the greatest comedian of all time. But like, if I just put out some COVID shit and you're just making a cartoon of it, I'm like, oh, this is cool. I never would have said that, but Dan made it seem cool and he captured it great. But so I think it's better off the way it is in that framework. And people can look back at it. Let's say this all clears up in a couple of years. You can look back and go, oh, remember back then these jokes made sense then. But like, if it was just a regular act, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. I'm enjoying them every time they come out. I was mad that some people, I'm like, they don't deserve to be a cartoon by Dan Brown. That person shouldn't be immortalized in cartoon history. Fuck you, Matt Heath. I'm kidding. I like Matt Heath. Well, if anyone should be a human cartoon, it's Matt Heath.
Well, I also do like contract stuff. Like the quarantine thing is that's just a project that I'm working on. But sometimes people pay me to do artwork or they pay me to do 3D sculptures or editing. Like I do freelance work on the side. So some of those projects, like the quarantine, that's just my thing. But also, also people pay me to do stuff.
All right. Well, what if I was a comic and I was like, I don't want to put out the 5-minute clip with all the words on it like most people. I want that in a cartoon thing. How would they contact you, Dan Brown, so they can make their awesome comedy be more fun for people to watch?
I guess you could just contact me through Facebook. I'm DBE on there, DEE space BEE, or you could just email me at ghosty_22@Yahoo for
You said you have to find an easier way for people to get hold of you. That was a lot of spelling. You just did Morse code. So all you have to do is beep boop beep 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 boop beep boop 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 boop, and then boom, your cartoon's in.
I'm at Ghosty Films on Twitter. Is that?
Yeah. There it was. Ghosty on Twitter. You say, Dan, make me a cartoon, motherfucker. And they're like, this is how much it costs to make you funny, motherfucker. And you just keep swearing at each other. And so there you go. They can follow you at Ghosty Films on Twitter. What's the YouTube channel? Is Ghosty Films, right?
Yep.
There's some good stuff on there. You can see a couple versions of my cartoon face on there as well. The logo of this show is my cartoon face by Dan Brown. So, but Dan, thanks for coming on, and don't go outside. It's not worth it. Just stay in forever.